deadly terror attack in Syria killing 4 American soldiers. A chaotic scene after a suicide blast rips through a busy street targeting a coalition convoy. Meanwhile, lawmakers speaking out on Capitol Hill about the president's decision to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria.
President Trump has not shared with the Foreign Relations Committee much of his foreign policy objectives or strategies. I've talked to our allies, and they're not clear as to what our policy is. So it's causing national security problems.
My concern by the statements made by President Trump is that you had set in motion enthusiasm by the enemy we're fighting. So I would hope the President would look long and hard of where he's headed in Syria.
Joining me now is Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Thanks for being here. I wanted, from your perspective, you've been there, you've fought on behalf of this country against this war on terrorism, and I wonder how you think about this event today in the overall context of this global war.
Well, first of all, it's tragic. I've buried a lot of friends. I know a lot of Gold Star families, But I would say this, the last thing we want is that my friends die in vain. The last thing we want is that these soldiers who died today die in vain. They were there because they believed in a mission, and it was a mission to protect the American people. Guys like me and guys like those who were killed today, they went there, and we still go there so that they don't come here. Every day that there's not another 9/11 is another mission success. That's how we need to look at this. This is a long conflict, but we have people like me who are more than willing to go back over and over again.
Do you think that we have gotten away from reminding people that this is a generational conflict, that this is not something where you're going to be able to solve and get it back out over here because this is an ideological war?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's the message I always try to send. We have to ask ourselves, what does mission success look like? And if we try to give the American people a false sense of what mission success is, well, then we're always going to come up short. That's why mission success is actually preventing another attack. And when we give groups like ISIS or the Taliban room to plan and space to grow, they will do just that. And they will always wake up the next morning thinking about how they're going to attack the United States. We have to be aware of that. Again, that's why you send people like me over there.
There's this map of 2017 showing how much territory ISIS controlled back then in 2017. And then with all that amazing good work over the past year, you look at they have just a tiny spot. That doesn't mean that they still can't attack. But I wonder, does this lend more credence to people's argument, including maybe the president, that leaving would be better than staying at this point?
Well, I think there's a lot of problems with leaving. But first of all, address the territory issue. Yes, the president has done actually a really great job working with the military to defeat ISIS in a territorial sense. So right now what it looks a little more like is ISIS has reverted to guerrilla warfare. It looks a little bit more like 2006, 2007 in Iraq while we were battling al-Qaeda. They didn't have territory, but they were still very dangerous. If we remove American troops, it does a few things. First, it puts our Kurdish allies in great danger from all sides, from the Turks, from ISIS, from all sides. It's not good for them. It also creates a corridor for Iran to reach Lebanon and increase its influence there. We have the possibility of an all-out conflict between Israel and Hezbollah on Syrian territory. Could really destabilize the region. But third, it's what I stated before. If you give them space, if you leave a vacuum of power and they feel relaxed, they feel like they can wake up the next day and start planning attacks on the homeland, and that's what we have to prevent.
It sure makes arguing over $5 billion for border security seem very petty by comparison. And I'll give you the last word on the thoughts of the shutdown and how this compares to what's really important out there.
Yeah, when you lose guys on the battlefield, it puts everything into perspective. And you brought up the $5 billion on the border. We need to secure our country, and that means securing it in places like from attacks in places like Syria, from adversaries like ISIS, and it also means securing our southern border. I can't believe this is a debate we're having. I can't believe this is controversial. We're asking for $5 billion. We have a holistic plan to secure the southern border. Yes, it includes physical barriers. Yes, I understand that upsets some people, but you know what? Border agents need that. They need that extra tool in their toolkit to defend the border. We have 400,000 people crossing, just apprehended, just last year. That's an enormous number. We need to secure the border. This shouldn't be controversial.
All right, Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.